Hello there, my name is Dan and I'm a very keen grower of fruit in the home garden here in Essex, UK. So certainly so far this year it's looking like it's going to be an amazing year for fruit. So I thought we could have a little look, have a little tour, and we can have a chat about growing fruit in the home garden. So let's go. Right, so we will start here with the cherry tree, and this is variety Stella. So you don't have to look very far to see the absolutely fantastic crop that this tree has set. Absolutely lovely little bunches or clusters, whatever you want to call them, of fruit. And there we go. So it's not going to be too long actually before I can pick these. So they're going to ripen over a period of time. I mean, they right up into the top of the tree here. So I've got a bit of an issue with black fly at the moment, but I'm currently treating that. But I'm just really happy with this fantastic crop that this tree has set. So I purchased this a few years ago from Kenmure, and it's on a minaret rootstock, which means vertical cordon. So I've not strictly kept it as a vertical cordon, as you could see. I've actually allowed it to take the form of a small tree, if you will, but that was deliberate, and I'm very glad I made that decision. And you can see just the humongous crop this is carrying. So the Concord pear, absolutely loaded with fruit. You can just see the sheer volume of fruits this tree is carrying. So this is about 5 feet tall, something like that, but it's actually put out some nice bit of growth this year. So you can see that if you only had room for one tree in your garden, you could have a Concord pear like this, self-fertile. It will do better with a pollination partner, but it can produce fruit on its own pollen. Have one of these and you could have a lovely crop of pears. Okay, so blueberries now. These are a great thing to grow. Need an ericaceous growing medium with a pH of 4.5 to 5.5. But you can just see how much of a crop this is carrying. Daily watering, ideally with rainwater, because tap water can be alkaline. And of course, these are ericaceous loving, acid loving plants. So you need to do what you can to give them the required growing medium. I give these a liquid drench every other week with an ericaceous liquid feed, which really helps. And the growing medium is also ericaceous compost as well. Okay, so here's one for you. These are Tayberries. Now these are absolutely an amazing thing to grow. So you can see I've got this tied up against the fence here. And this is a south-east facing fence, and it's really warm. Please excuse me there, it's actually a southwest facing fence. What am I talking about? So there we go. Now what we've got here, look, I'll show you these lovely fruits. Look at those. These are delicious, okay? If you leave them longer, they get a deep red, which is really tasty, and these are fantastic to eat like this. And you can eat them, fresh. You can put them in smoothies, they're great. Pies, jam. You could make wine. So Tayberries are definitely a thing that I recommend people grow if they don't have much space and they want a huge crop, because you can see just how little space this is occupying, and look at the huge crop it's carrying. Right, so the Worcester Pearman apple tree. Now this is looking like it's going to be a fantastic year. So it's set, I think, the biggest crop this tree has set since I've owned the tree, and the apples are starting to make a fair size now. So if I get 7 or 8 good size eating apples from this relatively young tree, I'll be very happy. Right, so gooseberries. Gooseberries are another great thing to grow, and you can see these haven't made much size, the actual fruits. And the reason for this will be because we've had a patch of very dry weather. We had some rain yesterday and a little bit a few days before that, but very dry here in the southeast. So the fruit hasn't made much size, but I'm quite happy with it. Doesn't matter, won't affect the taste. And some, like this one here, are on their way to readiness now. So once again, you can see with relatively small bushes just how much of a crop you can get. So going into my little Polytunnel food forest here, pear tree, goodness gracious, peach tree Dixie Red, you can see here, look, carrying an absolutely beautiful crop. Not going to be too long now before I get a crop of pears, peaches, I keep saying that, don't I? So here you go, you can see the grapes. I mean, the grape crop is going to be fantastic this year. Look at them bunches there. And I had a comment actually regarding the size of grape bunches and how close or not close the fruits can be. Now, some bunches of grapes, some varieties actually bunch the fruit further apart and some bunch them closer together. A lot of that can be to do with the variety, but if your bunches are really close together and you want to get some bigger fruits, you can actually remove a few. With this variety, that won't be necessary. As you can see, they're well spaced, but it's a fantastic year for grapes by the looks of it so far. Okay, as we go into the other polytunnel, you can see there's all sorts going on in here. Thoroughly exciting stuff. So strawberries this year have been absolutely fantastic, and this variety here, Cambridge Favourite, which is a very heavy cropper, been using these a lot for things like smoothies, and they make delicious strawberry jam. Absolutely fantastic. So looking over here, oranges, blood orange. So we're going to have some blood oranges. When they're ready, I don't know, but it will happen. Plenty more to come in terms of blossom on the tree, so grateful for that. And this fig tree, Madeline, that just says, oh, it's grown really well. You can see on my fig cuttings down here, looking really lovely indeed. And the melons, well, I'm going to be making a separate update video on the melon project because people are very interested in growing melons here in the UK. Now, melons in general, they don't like going below about 20 degrees C, okay, and we have had some nights where it was about 6 degrees C, so yes, it has gone down, but of course here in the polytunnel it really helps to keep it warm, and also the steps that I've taken to help keep the growing medium warm, because when you're growing melons, keeping the growing medium warm is one of the key things. And you can see the polythene, the bin bags I've got on there, but the plants are really making a good size now, and it won't be too long. So you can see there's lots of flowers on there now, so if it's not too chilly, it would really be helpful to leave the door open of the greenhouse or the polytunnel that maybe you're growing them in to let pollinating insects in. I mean, there's hoverflies all around here. In here I'm looking at one now, and they love landing on the potato flowers and things like that, but to help them along a little bit if you can. So I've got more Tayberries here, and these ripen a little bit slower than the other Tayberries because it doesn't quite get as much sun here, but that's fine because at the end of the day it doesn't really matter because, I mean, look at that. It means I'll have crops over a sustained period. So to me, a Tayberry picked about like that is perfect. It's got just enough tanginess still, a little bit sweet as well, without it going mushy. Okay, so got more blueberries here. I've got an assortment of varieties, and I'm going to be making a separate video discussing the varieties hopefully soon, but you can see the crops that these have set for such small bushes are absolutely fantastic. Going to have a lovely crop of blueberries this year. So yesterday I put up a video how to grow grapes in containers and pots, and this is one that I've set up here, some more cuttings that I took here. And you know, people are getting more and more into grape growing, and it's such a great thing to grow in a climate such as the southeast of the UK, or indeed further north if you can give them the correct microclimate of a cold greenhouse, unheated greenhouse, polytunnel or greenhouse in the winter, and the extra extension of the season that will give. And they're just fantastic, really, grapes, and so heavy cropping as well. And raspberries coming as well. These are variety Golden Queen. You can see the fruit started to set there. Okay, so going to end the video now. So just remember this, a small to a medium-sized garden does not mean small to medium-sized crops of fruit. And if growing fruit at home in your backyard or at the allotment or whatever really gets you going, do it. If you like my work, please feel free to like, share and subscribe. Check me out on Dan_Home Gardens on Instagram if you are indeed interested. See you next time.